Welcome back to the Mid-Year YouTube channel. In today's episode, we're finishing up Lucy the 55. I had the fuel system torn apart from last fall to try to fix this mystery issue of why she wouldn't run. In today's episode, we finally figure out why it's not running. We get her running and we start the move. We start moving stuff over to the new house. And unfortunately, I did a little bit of off-roading here in Lucy, but we got her in the garage, we got her running, so be sure to stick around. So I told you guys in one of the last videos, we need to put a new fuel tank in the 55 Chevy Lucy and new fuel line. So I have all this stuff here. I have a tank, I have a sending unit, new straps and hardware. I have the new fuel neck, and then in that box I have the main line from the carb all the way back to the tank. But conveniently, I filled this car up completely with a full tank of gas right before we had all our issues. So we got to drain the gas out of this guy. And I bought this at the swap meet, one of these little siphons that has a check ball in it. You just put it in the tank and it should magically siphon up fuel and put it into our jug. So we're going to give that a shot, and conveniently this is a clear line so we can look at the quality of the fuel and figure out what we need to do with it from there. It'll be nice if it's in okay shape because my Challenger's a little low. Alright, we'll see how easy this is to feed down in here. I got a pretty long one, so hopefully we can feed it all the way down. I'm thinking we should be in the tank. Oh yeah, we're in the tank. Now we'll put this end in the can. I guess you just shake this end. Oop. And fuel's coming out. It looks like pretty good gas. I don't know if I can do this one-handed or not. I still want this end to come jumping out. There it goes. Alright, she's filling up. And that gas looks pretty good from here, so it could just be that the sock is clogged up. So I'm going to go ahead and drain this out as much as we can. May have to do a couple trips, and then we'll start pulling the tank after that. So I got the old gas tank out here. It doesn't actually look that terrible inside. Neither does the fill tube. But I did find that this is looking pretty nasty on the top. So I don't know if this had some old gas in it or what, or if this was just like a silicone that they put on. But you can see that the sock is disintegrated.
Many months later.
So I finally finished up the fuel tank install because we got some warm weather. So I put a new tank, sending unit, straps, a new fill pipe, and then I put a whole new hard line in it and tried to get her going, and she won't run. The only way I could get it running was off of a little bit of starting fluid, and then it would run, and as soon as it ran out, it would die. But I thought we were getting fuel because the glass bowl was filling up, but I would try the throttle and we had no accelerator pump. So I'm thinking the bowl's dry and maybe the fuel pump was just making enough fuel just to fill this barely. So what I did is I pulled this line off, put a paper towel in here, cranked it, and it just barely made, I cranked it for like 15 seconds. It just made like a quarter-size little dollop, and it was hardly even wet. So I'm thinking our fuel pump's bad, which is great because that's where we started on this whole project. If you remember, I had to put a new fuel pump on it because the old one was leaking between the two parts of the housing. Then we put a new carburetor on it, and then I went down all these other rabbit holes. So let's go back to where we started and dive into the fuel pump. So I wanted to make sure I had the right fuel pump. I actually had one laying on the shelf in my pile of new parts. So I went to the old pump that I took off of it, which is an AC pump. And I'm sure you've done this with your new pump. If you grab it, you can hear it working. Where this one's locked up solid. So I got the old pump off and the push rod, and this really doesn't look bent unless I compare it to this one and I roll it around in my hand. I can see just a tiny gap open up, so I think this is really fine. But since we're here, we're just going to go ahead and put the new one in. But check this out. So if we take this pump, so if we take our new pump, look at the free play on this one. It doesn't really move a whole lot. Then let's check out the free play on the old one. This one has a lot more free play in it before it actually does any pumping. So in case you were wondering, there is a difference between small block Chevy fuel pumps, and that's the inlet size. So this one I had on the shelf for a Corvette application from the 60s, and it has too big of an inlet and an outlet to work on the early car, so I had to go get an adapter kit so that way these would fit. So now I can go ahead and put sealant on these, get this hose on here, get this adapter on here, and then we can hook this thing up and get this buttoned up. So I'm feeling pretty good about it. Let's get all this buttoned up and see if she'll start up. So it turns out Lucy runs a lot better when she's got a fuel pump and when the choke's open a little bit. Needs a little bit of adjustment. We're on the road now. I am so fired up. I've been wanting to take you guys for a ride in Lucy since, well, I got the car, and we've had nothing but little issues, and it turns out it wasn't Lucy's fault at all. It was just cheap reproduction parts that weren't working well. So we pretty much finished where we started off. Started off by putting a new fuel pump on it. The fuel pump worked for a while, and a couple months it gave out. So it was just a cheap junk fuel pump. Must have had a bad diaphragm, or it didn't like ethanol. I don't know. But the situation is, the whole problem with Lucy was she needed a new fuel pump. And now that she's got fuel, well, she's running like a top, and she's just enjoying these back roads. This is awesome. And still have the old, I don't know if you see it in the back window, just married back there. We got her loaded down with the wedding decorations like we did on the night of the wedding, because, well, we're moving. So we may as well load up Lucy with some nice stuff that she can haul, and I'll leave it in Lucy until we can get it unpacked. Uh-oh, big puddle. Uh-oh. Oh, dodged most of it. But Lucy runs great. I just love this view, sitting here looking over that bird or plane, looking over the fenders. It's such an iconic color. It just, the window is the perfect height. Just stick your arm and cruise. The big steering wheel. A beautiful horn. I mean, come on. Can you get any better than this? So we're just beat bopping over to the new house. It's just a few more minutes, quite a few more hills, and we'll get old Lucy in the garage, and that'll be the first big thing moved over to the new house. And we have a lot more vehicles to move from there, so this is just the beginning, but enjoy a little bit of the cruise here. She runs so good. Uh-oh. We got oversized load. Oh yeah. Bring her down a little bit. Beautiful day in the neighborhood. It's gonna start raining. Looks like it might snow next week, so today was the perfect day. It said it was going to rain all day, but we have a nice patch here. The roads are a little damp, but you know, Lucy sat through some rainstorms, and I'm sure a little bit of rain is not going to hurt her today, so it's a perfect opportunity to move her. I don't want to move her in the salt. That's something I will not do. She's running awesome. She's a good rig. We have made it. Sorry about the jingling. We've got a lot of little glass things down here, but we got her to the house. We believe this house is from the late 40s. So once upon a time, there could have been a 55 Bel Air cruising back here. Now it sounds like it's a little soft today, which I wanted to get her back here before it got too bad. Oh yeah, we're gonna have to get some gravel in here before we start doing a lot of stuff with cars back here, but all right, let's get Lucy put in her new home. What do you say? So whenever we first looked at the house, I knew for sure we were gonna have to get some gravel here or asphalt or a driveway, but it's especially clear right here. I forgot Lucy's a one-wheeler, and well, we dug a little bit of a trench. We got her in, so I have to wait till it warms up and till all this stuff hardens up till we can get Lucy back out, and I gotta wash her off. But we got her in here, and you know, she's a good one. I have to clean the white walls off. I gotta do that sooner rather than later. We didn't get anything on the body, but I'm sure the wheel well's full of mud now. But we got her in here, and she's packed full of wedding stuff, and this is a pretty big garage actually. Lucy's not a small car, and we still got space back here. I didn't do a very good job pulling her in. I just needed the speed. But I got to move the mower and some of this other stuff, I guess, to the back. And I have some of the 68 Corvette parts back here and just some overall house stuff. I'd have to do, like I said, straighten up and move stuff around. But the other car is going to go over here. And then once that one leaves, we're actually going to bring the 68 Corvette frame here. I did decide we're going to build the 68 frame here. And then once we put the body on it, we're going to build the 68 Corvette in this garage. It's got pretty good lighting for videos, and that'll allow us to do dirty work and build other cars in the shop, and we'll be able to keep Lucy and the 68 clean. So that's the plan. So now eventually I have to unpack the old girl because she's still got all the wedding decorations and stuff. But if you didn't check out the other video on this, we bought this car because my grandparents got married and they had a 55 Chevy in their pictures. So we thought it'd be cool to get a good picture car, and it's a good thing we did because it rained a lot on our wedding day, so we wouldn't have been able to take my red split window out anyways. And we had some fuel issues. We ran out of gas, and after that it started a whole cascade of trying to figure out what was wrong. But what ended up being wrong after I replaced the entire fuel system front to back, tank, lines, sending unit, the fill tube, the main line, the fuel pump, the main line up there, and then I ended up putting on a fuel filter. So I can show you under here. Put the right style fuel filter on it and a reman carb, and it ended up being the fuel pump again. So with the second fuel pump I've put on it, third fuel pump it's had since I've owned it, hopefully we have a good quality one. This is a Corvette pump. It's a little more expensive and it has a bigger inlet, so I had to get some adapters to make all that work, but we're not leaking gas. It's running good. I had to play with the choke, and now that that works, we're in business. So Lucy is here. That's one thing moved, one thing checked off the list. Boom. But that's gonna do it for this video. If you enjoyed, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Tell me what you think about Lucy, the 55 Chevy project. And in probably next week's video, we're gonna have another car in this garage bay that we're gonna sit here and talk about the plan for it. We're gonna do a full project car review on it. It's only gonna be here for a short time, but it's gonna look really iconic sitting next to Lucy. So hopefully you guys are going to enjoy that project as well. And the moving has begun. We're under contract with a townhouse, so in the next month we're going to be moving stuff over and getting the house ready. So it's going to be pretty hectic, and I'm going to do my best to keep putting out videos of some sort, and we're going to get close to the point where I have one video I'm like this close on with the 63 split window. I need to jump back into that, but we're going to have plenty of good content coming up that hopefully you guys will enjoy. So I got a lot of work to do, and I'll catch you guys later.